In this video, I'm gonna share with you the fastest way that you can do to shift your negative emotional state into an empowering state, going from feeling overwhelmed to freedom, from worry to clarity, from fear to courage, and from any form of negative emotion to transform it into something positive so that you don't remain a victim, so that you don't remain trapped in that, stuck in that emotional state, like so many people do. And the reason I'm making this video is because I'm getting a lot of questions these days about how do I deal with my anxiety, with my worry, with my overwhelmness, with my stress. And I become increasingly aware that people struggle with their emotion. They struggle with this EQ, emotional intelligence. We can become aware that we're feeling a lot of things, and sometimes we just call it anxiety or stress or worry. But what do we do with it? How do we deal with it? How do we let go? And other people simply put it in a box, they shove it somewhere, and they, I'm gonna process it or think on it or deal with it later. Or they simply distract themselves with it, which never works on the long term and will always come back to bite you up. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we don't have time in the day-to-day life to go through lengthy letting go process and journaling and whatnot, because we got things to do. If you're at work, if you're in a meeting, if you are in sport, whatever you are, sometimes life requires you to be present, to be able to respond regardless of how you feel, regardless of what might be being triggered in you, and to go beyond and to still deliver. So the first thing I really want to emphasize is that when you start to feel any form of negative emotion, usually it's emotions that are already between your subconscious mind, that are simply being triggered and then projected onto people, onto things, and we become reactive. All right? And that is not good or bad, right or wrong, but it's to become aware that you are the cause of how you feel, even though it may appear as if the cause is outside of you. All right? Now, here's something very important. The first thing I want you to do is to accept how you feel, to notice and acknowledge that there is an emotion. What I mean by that is to release any form of judgment or resentment or not being okay with having this form of emotion. Because that form of resistance, feeling bad about feeling bad, is what usually makes us feel even worse, even more miserable. Because we feel like I should not feel this way, or now it's not the right time, or don't want to feel this way. And on top of how we feel, whether it's the anger, the fear, or the sadness, or the overwhelm, we bring up another layer on top of that. And we don't process any of them because we just want it to go and we want to be happy. But that is not helpful in any way. So have compassion for yourself by simply being aware. Step one, very simply, be aware and accept. All right, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling worried. I don't know what I'm feeling, but fuck, it's not good. And just allow that for a few moments. And you can just breathe into that sensation. And that alone can tremendously help you and bring a sense of relief. That alone sometimes is enough for me to go beyond that, especially if you do that often. Because the more you condition yourself, the more you become fitter and the more you become in control. So at the beginning, it might take a bit of time, it might take a little bit of discipline, a little bit of willpower to stay committed and not to be reactive and judgmental about how you feel. So allow it, all right? Now, if the emotion then subsides and becomes lesser, that's great. You may either continue a little bit until it's completely gone and transmuted, or you may want to step it up a little bit. And by stepping up, this means involving your body into it and shifting your physiology. That means if you're sitting, standing up, going for a walk, going to drink some water, smiling, shaking, dancing, jumping, doing some squat, really moving your body. It can also mean, if you have time, if you're in a location that allows it, taking a cold shower, doing a couple of push-ups, doing that power pose that has been proven scientifically through research, that can not only boost your testosterone level, but can also decrease your cortisol level, which is the stress response. So just standing in power pose for 2 minutes and breathing deeply can shift your state. The fastest way to shift how you feel after you acknowledge it, after you breathe into it, is to change your physiology. Find something that works for you. We all are a bit different, and it really depends on the space and where you are. Sometimes if you're driving, all you can do is maybe shake it up a little bit. Of course, be safe. But find something that works for you, and I guarantee you, the moment you shake your body, you're gonna shake your energy, you're gonna raise your energy, and when you raise your energy, you change how you feel. And when you change how you feel, it's changing and breaking that pattern of thinking, feeling, and focusing, which then allow you to go into the situation from a very different emotional standpoint. And that changes everything. Because remember, when emotional stress goes up, intelligence goes down. Because it's very difficult to think greater than how you feel. But if you can break that pattern, become emotionally fit, and take control of how you feel. Notice that I have the power. The power is not like, oh my God, I'm powerless in the form of my emotions. I can change that because I have control over my mind and my body, and I can use this to go into an empowering state that will allow me, to the best of my ability, to deal with this situation to the best I can. So this is one of the fastest ways to deal with your emotion, to go from a negative state, an overwhelming state, into a state of power that allow you to move forward in a responsible and resourceful way. So let me know what you think, guys. Try it, test it, adopt it, and you'll see the result. I will see you next time. As always, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.